is on. Okay, people can now see and hear us.
Welcome, people.
Let's see. We had talked about opening with David. Why are all my... Oh my god, everything's like in a crazy order now.
What happens, man? Take a couple of weeks off. Somebody steals all your Christmas packages, rearranges all your fucking settings.
Okay, so I'll
Left all your money, though, which is weird.
I'll put the request up there, sure. No. I'll do that. Okay. Okay. Who's ready for the countdown?
Me.
Yeah, sure.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Game That Tune.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's Game That Tune, and we are once again back in the house. It's your boy, John Harrington here. We've got John Regan with us. Say hey.
Hey.
We got Jesse Moore. Say hey.
Hey.
And we got the August Absurdity champion, David Fleming, king of the show. Say hey.
Hey.
Hell yeah, guys. Welcome back. It's Game That Tune, GTT. First GTT of 2023, guys. New year. Same bullshit. It's so good to be back with you guys. If you're just joining us here after a fantastic holiday, welcome back. Happy to have you. Wait, no. Welcome to the show for the first time. Happy to have you. Hope your holiday was great. Hope you spent your holiday money on Patreon. But what we're going to do here is listen to some video game tunes. What we've done is we've each brought 3 songs from a game. We're going to try and guess each other's games based on the songs, a little bit of trivia. We're going to goof off. We're going to have a lot of fun. The winner at the end of the night picks the theme for our next episode and plays some bonus tunes. And our winner before our holiday hiatus was the fantastic John Regan. John Regan, who had the best holiday out of all of us, won the show, and then we went away for a little while.
I won the show, and then I lost Christmas.
Exactly. Jesus.
Literally stolen from my doorstep.
You really should. We should have thought about that. It is the classic Christmas tradition. Whoever wins Game That Tune has a ruinous Christmas immediately thereafter. So we gotta remember to have a guest on or something. Pass that curse on to them.
It's like It Follows.
Yeah, exactly. But so Johnny, you got to pick the theme before we went on break. So tell everybody what the theme is for tonight's episode.
3, 2, 1, 0. Are you ready?
Game That Tune. FREEPLAY.
You don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but would you like to go down this pony hole?
Fucking,
Electro Kong.
You didn't want to go down the pony hole, but did you want to jump on it? Let's do it. Ride it. My pony. My saddle. Baby. Coming. Jump on it.
Donk Ock. We like 'em thick.
Does your mom and teacher not know how to treat you? Well, get some wild blasters.
Americong Chavez.
England has been a part of significantly larger roses.
Wait, so I still don't know if that's that for the microwave stack or the sex move.
Jesse, do you have some obscure tangent you'd like to take us on?
Not yet.
Venom Kong?
Is there any room for me in those jeans?
What?
Yeah. It's good. Downright manageable free play jingle starting us off in 2023. It's a new year, and it's no theme tonight. It's free play, baby. Bring anything you like. So, man, what a show it's going to be. I can't wait to see what you guys brought because, None of you guys got me a Christmas present, so I assume that this week's show will be like a late Christmas present for all of us. So, I hope that the tunes are good. And
I don't know what you're talking about. I got you a Christmas present. I think somebody must have stolen it off of your front porch.
Yeah, I don't have a weird spy camera in my doorbell like some people, so I don't know if that happened. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun show. So I hope the music is fantastic and the intent is spirit of loving and togetherness. That's what I'm going for post Christmas. So Johnny, I guess just start up, man. What's game 1?
Game 1.
So trivia for this game, which I feel like the trivia might be a giveaway. This is the first game in this series that was a system launch title in 16 years. All right, Johnny, play that hat trick.
What makes you think Johnny knows this? Oh.
Looks like we have a hat trick. Everyone says New Super Mario Brothers U, which is correct.
Yeah, see, Jesse had to add the U, David. You shouldn't presume that anybody knew this or enjoyed this music. Just for the record.
I'm getting a sense that you do not enjoy the music of this game.
Well, it sounds pretty terrible in my ears. You know, the singing Baby Yoshis. The Baby Yoshis are quite cute, but the singing is not desirable to listen to.
I apologize. I thought it was kind of charming.
Ruining that spirit of togetherness and loving post-Christmas, David. How could you?
I just wanted to...
The only baby that I want to hear about post-Christmas is Jesus. You know, little infant Jesus. Only a few days old. Plus, you know, a couple thousand years, give or take.
Well, you know, Jesus and Mario
Yoshis
have a lot in common, really.
What? Okay, but no, you know, more importantly, what does Jesus have in common with Baby Yoshi?
They're both babies.
Hmm.
They both have incredible power within them. Christ obviously being the son of God, and Yoshi's being able to eat literally anything.
Right. Do we know anything about Christ's powers of eating?
I don't think it's in the Old Testament. Let me check the New Testament. And also I'm going to have to check. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe both might be dinosaurs.
Where's Ray when you need him?
It's really a yin and yang kind of thing. So Yoshi can eat an unlimited amount of food, and Jesus can provide an unlimited amount of fish and bread. So basically, you have a perpetual energy creation system here by pairing a baby Jesus and a baby Yoshi together.
God, we need them both.
Yeah, all the world's problems.
Yeah, if baby Jesus and baby Yoshi would just finally come together. Yeah.
And Yoshi likes to work with blue collar people. I mean, Mario's a plumber and Jesus is a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
That's my new philosophy. There needs to be constant balance between the two forces of the universe, Jesus and Yoshi.
Yes. What would Yoshi do?
Also, don't you guys go to Mario Mass on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
No, I go to Mario Mass on March 10th.
That's why I'm always saying, Yoshi, take the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Not just
he does know how to drive go-karts.
Yeah.
But you know, anyway, we got away from the fact that they're both babies. But you know, more importantly, we've gotten away from New Super Mario Brothers U, a perfectly fine entry in the New Super Mario Brothers series.
Well, you know, I'm kind of on record of not being the biggest fan of the new Super Mario games, but I recently went back and played some of New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe plus New Super Luigi U featuring Dante from Devil May Cry now with Funky Mode. And you know, like the game it's better than I remembered it when it was on the Wii U. I mean, obviously the Switch port added stuff, but like, you know, the level designs are actually really fun, and there's some standout levels. There's the one where the background looks like a Vincent van Gogh painting. There's the snow one that's set in night where you're like jumping from the spinning star planets. Like, this game had some cool moments.
Can we break character for a second here? I don't know enough about New Super Brothers re-releases. Like, did they really put Dante from Devil May Cry in the Switch port of this game?
No. They did, however, add Toadette into the Switch port, who could get a special crown that would turn her into basically
Dante?
Peach.
Let us know when we're...
That would have been a bold move.
Yeah, Toadante, the Dante Toadette crossover, sexy.
Let us know when we can get back in character, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, what character were you breaking? Your character is lacking knowledge of most games. It was perfectly fine for you to stay in character and ask. I didn't think there was any break there at all.
I'm sorry, guys. I just want to take a moment to break character here. I really enjoy Splatoon.
Oh my god, dude, that game is so fun.
Immersion ruined, David.
Honestly, when Johnny said he was going to break character, I thought he was going to like say something like really specific about this game that like you would have to know by playing it. And I was like, oh, here it comes. Johnny actually held a Wii U controller at some point. No,
in World 6, that one castle. Oh.
Right? Did you guys ever do the secret exit in World 6 and get fired out of the cannon and blah blah blah?
Did you guys know that New Super Mario Brothers U, the trees and the bushes are the same sprites?
Oh.
See, it's funny that you mentioned that because this is the first HD Mario game, so there are no sprites.
Mm-hmm. And I think you mean the clouds in the bushes, Johnny.
Oh, what did I say?
The trees in the bushes, man.
Well, I mean, what are trees if not large bushes?
All right, let me get back.
Well, they're not the same sprite.
Yeah, they're a lot different.
Yeah, the trivia about that, David, is that they're not the same sprite. The trees are distinct from the bushes.
Wow. If one falls on you, it hurts a lot.
I'm talking about the actual plants. Like,
well, no, we're talking about sprites, baby. Don't talk about actual plants. This is a video game.
Not
show.
on this show.
Yeah, fucking David Greenthumb over here.
We touched grass a few episodes back, and we saw how good that went.
Mm-hmm. Fucking horticulturist over here trying to educate us in the difference between trees and bushes.
See, it's funny that you say that because trees and bushes are very much not the same thing.
You're the one that said they were.
I know.
I think I'm the one that said they were.
Okay, when are we back in character, guys? You guys are flipping and flopping. I don't know who's who.
New year, all kind of crazy character work going on. I'm not playing a fucking character here. Anyway, that you want me to break character? Fucking press a button on that soundboard again.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wanted to start the year with a Mario game because I love Mario, and we haven't used this one. Now we have.
Mm-hmm.
I think that says it all.
Your big thing on this is that it's not as bad as you remember, and there are 2 cool levels. How many levels are in the game, David?
Okay, there were 2 that stuck out to me, like, that I remember distinctly. There were more cool levels. There was the jungle with all the giant enemies. There was the even the first level with the giant, like, acorn tree that gave you the super acorn because you get a flying squirrel suit.
Mm-hmm. I like how easy it is to find that big acorn. It's, it's just right there. You don't have to search for it. You can just spot it, grab it, and then it's off to the races. You're having fun. All kinds of new fun with that super acorn. I like the flying squirrel suit. It's in no way a very silly, unusual iteration of the raccoon and tanuki suits. It's definitely its own worthwhile thing.
I do like that. I mean, you hate them singing, but I do like the baby Yoshis because you get the baby Yoshi that spits bubbles. So it's kind of like Bub and Bob from Bubble Bobble.
Cute.
And then there's the one that inflates to a giant balloon and lets you like jump extra high. Adorable.
Yep. And the flashlight one.
I mean, the flashlight one was fine.
Yeah. He ate a little glowing berry or whatever. Fucking made him a flashlight. Well, it's fun. It's clever, David. Yeah. That's a standout level. I like the baby Yoshis and the use of them. I wish instead of them singing in a kid's chorus over the level music that, like, when you're riding Yoshi, you get an extra like drum beat in the game. Maybe as the babies, you get a little tinkling xylophone or like a hi-hat and cymbals or something instead of like a drum beat. I don't know, but
I think the instrument you're looking for is a recorder.
It could be. I'm just saying something better than constant chorus of baby noises, whatever the fuck you want to call what that did to the music. I just think there's a more elegant musical solution. Much like I think we talked about it when we talked about New Super Mario Brothers 2, when it's like it's in coin mode and they just added like the constant clanging of money. And it's like there had to be a better way to do this than just literally take the previous New Super Mario Brothers music and add an extra layer of noise to it. Like, I feel like this doesn't, I don't know. They weren't creative enough musically. I wanted it to be a musical, I don't know, change more so than just adding a layer of excess noise.
I mean, I kind of feel like that sums up the new Super Mario Brothers games, where you just take what came before and add like one new thing and then call it a day.
Yeah. So in the Switch port of this, did they get rid of the mechanics that you could only do using the Wii U gamepad, like drawing extra platforms in the game? Is that just gone?
You know, to be honest, I don't know because I didn't check that part. I just played through the single player.
Makes sense. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. Why or how anybody would ever enjoy 5-player Super Mario Brothers.
Ugh.
In which one player is not playing, but drawing platforms to help the other players, as though these Mario levels aren't hard enough for fucking, like, you, your wife or girlfriend, and like a kid anyway. Now you got somebody drawing platforms that can get in your way.
I was gonna say, I could imagine 5-player Super Mario Brothers being really fun. What I can't imagine is 5-player Super Mario Brothers with 4 playable characters.
I mean, yeah, 5-player Super Mario Brothers, and again, one person can somehow alter the level in the, like ruin the momentum of the level by just, there's a platform in front of you now. Yeah. I can help you with that jump. I'll put a platform in the right place. It's never in the right place. Never does the platform end up in the right place. A novel idea.
I feel like the multicolored toads were kind of a cop-out, too.
Super cop-out.
They could have had some other better characters.
And so that's why they got Toadette in this one, yes?
Yes.
That's good. I feel like also they could just swap in some other playable characters. I mean, like, they don't all have to have unique play styles. The colorful toads sure didn't. But, I know a couple of guys, this old gay couple, they play tennis together. They Wario and Waluigi, that's who I'm thinking of. They're just sitting on the sidelines, not participating in platforming at all.
If they need some new characters to add, why not Gino? Why not Mallow? Let's bring in some of the Mario RPG shit. Let's kick it up a level.
God,
did we break character again? I'm not sure what's going on.
What is this character work you're doing here, John?
Could you imagine if there was
from Mario RPG,
a new Super Mario Brothers games where the 4 playable characters were Mario, Dr. Mario, Paper Mario, and then like arcade Donkey Kong Mario?
Yeah,
Jumpman?
Oh, okay, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm down. Here's money.
It's weird. You look at just how many characters are in like Mario Kart now, and it's like, man, you guys came up with Mario, Luigi, and 2 Toads for the new Super Mario Brothers game, huh? That's all you had. I mean, obviously you can't play as like the Koopa kids. They're bad guys, but like I don't know. I feel like you could pull somebody.
Dante.
Baby Mario.
I really hope the next new Super Mario Brother game features Pink Gold Peach.
What about just playing as a Yoshi with no one riding him? Has anybody ever considered that? Free Yoshi.
But if you hatch a Yoshi, would you ride a Yoshi as Yoshi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was just checking.
Yeah. Exactly. Yoshis, that hatch out of eggs support people, but the Yoshi that you would play as would be some kind of, I don't know, like
Super Yoshi.
Be a genie from Aladdin, but without the wristbands on. Yoshi, he would have no saddle on. He would just be a free man at that point. Yoshi Freeman.
Just like he has his own sock and everything.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a house elf.
House Yoshi.
Finally releasing my house Yoshi.
Oh God, yeah, Yabi.
Yabi.
Yeah, no, I also used to be a defender of this game. I haven't played it in a long time, but I like the new Super Mario Brothers games. They're fine. The gameplay is fun until you try to do it multiplayer, at which point it becomes not fun. But no, I think they're solid 2D platforming games. I wish they would make them much more frequently and much more good. But I don't know. What are you gonna do? They don't want to do these anymore. They just want to keep porting stuff. It's going to be interesting to see, what happens if Nintendo releases another console. Maybe we're going to get a fresh wave of like actual new things. They won't have their failed system to pull things forward from. to put on their new system. They're gonna have to actually make some hot ass new games. So maybe soon. New Super Mario Brothers Switch Deluxe.
I'd play it.
I will play it gladly. Anything else on New Super Mario Brothers? No. David?
Fun game.
It sure is.
Game 2.
All right. So this game has many references to other role-playing games and anime and such. Um, one of which references is um, the opening sequence of one of the characters being woken up by his mother in a house, very much like the one from Chrono Trigger. One of the characters section in the first chapter is basically a big reference to the Millennial Fair, which is also from Chrono Trigger, including a race in which you can bet on the different racers and take different hints from NPCs. All right, let's see how you guys are doing. Oh man. So Johnny drew looks like a policeman on a dick with something coming out of it.
I think the dick is Yoshi.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I see.
that will
Okay,
use Mario.
yeah. That's his tongue. Okay. That's incorrect. John, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that's incorrect. And David with the correct answer, Chained Echoes. This is Chained Echoes. It came out, I want to say, this month. Or no, last month in December. And like it was quickly very enjoyed. I've already dumped like 15 plus hours into it. It's a great RPG if you like classic RPGs. It's
So
go ahead.
It's not that Switch game where
No,
you're playing
no.
as like the future police with the
No,
the
it's
extra
not that.
dimensional stuff
That's
going on.
what is
It's
that?
Astral Chain.
Astral Chain.
Okay,
yeah.
and it's not
Yes.
a remake of the GameCube sequel to Metroid Prime.
No, it is not.
Okay, just checking.
No,
No,
that's
this
Metroid
is-
Prime 2 Chain.
2 chains, yes.
2 chains.
So close, David. You almost nailed it.
No, this is real cool. It's whoever made this game loves RPGs because they're just borrowing from everything. There's so many, like the art style. It's like if you saw the guy that was drawing the Final Fantasy Tactics art, and like the guy next to him was trying to copy it. So it looks okay, but it's like I see exactly what you're going for, but you're not that guy. If that makes sense. Like it's still good, but you see what he's trying to do, and there's a clear difference between his finished product and their finished product.
I can see that. I'm also looking at some screenshots now. It's got a Secret of Mana look to it.
Yeah, I mean the sprite work is great.
Yeah,
cool monsters. One of the cool things, this is a tiny minor spoiler, just something I thought was really cool. You fight a mimic in the game, and typically mimics are just treasure chests with teeth and stuff.
That bite.
Yeah, well, this mimic was a windmill, and so that was pretty fun.
Now, how does that work? Like, what is a mimic acting as a windmill? Like, what's the trick there?
Well, there was a kid crying. He said that a windmill was bullying him, and everyone believed him.
Awesome.
And so then we strolled up on the windmill, and like the windmill was like, "Oh, you figured me out," and you have to fight it.
And now it's a building sized windmill.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Not like I don't know,
No,
like a mini golf course or
No.
like a like a small like farm windmill. I'm talking a Dutch looking windmill.
Yeah.
That turns out it is
Like-
alive
like-
and wants to fight you.
Like the things Don Quixote would want to fight.
Yeah, okay.
Damn it.
Dope.
You beat me. I was going to say, this little kid was crying. This windmill attacked me, and nobody believes me except Don Quixote.
Yeah.
It's okay, little Donnie. We'll take care of that windmill. Okay, yeah, so cool. So mimic windmill. Weird, awesome.
But there's like mech suits in it, like steampunk like mech suits.
Sweet.
So like there's airships and stuff, there's magic. So it's like an interesting fantasy world.
Got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's super cool. The writing has been surprisingly like decent. Like a lot of times it's getting me to like smile or even laugh out loud at some of this stuff. So like they're doing a good job with that too. The combat is probably it's kind of challenging at times. Like some of the just you would think an easy battle, like you roll up on like 2 ghosts in like a mine. You're like, oh, 2 ghosts, I got this. And then you're like, wow, this is my 7th try at fighting 2 fucking ghosts. And then you figure out like one thing you could be doing different that changes the whole battle.
I like that.
Yeah. There's so like all the battles are kind of I don't want to say puzzly, but like, there's kind of like a trick. Like, this particular fight, you should definitely just kill one thing at a time. That way you can, focus your attacks and get rid of them,
Right.
Or
And
this
so
one. Yeah,
also
go ahead.
the kind of thing that if you look at a guide in advance of knowing this, it kind of spoils it for you. You got to figure this stuff out. And part of the fun is in learning it a little bit.
Not necessarily, but yeah, I can see that.
I'm just saying, like, there's a difference. Like,
Yeah.
think about old games. It's like, when have I not known how to like do the elemental shit in like Secret of Mana? It's pretty straightforward. But it's like, there was a time when I was young and I fucking struggled with that shit. So like, if this game were the same, it's like, I like a little bit of trial and error. I don't like it to be frustrating or like dumb. I don't like it to be some random thing. It's like, oh yeah, you forgot to equip like this bead that prevents you from losing the battle. Like, needs to make sense and be something you can kind of intuit your way into.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean you didn't equip the bead?
I mean, who would equip a bead? Who would?
I usually keep at least 4 or 5 of them in
who
me
would
at
want a
all
bead as a
times.
gift?
That was very well done, Jesse.
Thank you. But yeah, it's a cool game. You can pet every dog and cat so far,
That's
which
good.
is a huge plus in all video games.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
why?
I'm sorry. I'm seeing in the images. Is there a dog in your party?
If there is, I haven't got him yet.
Okay.
You can have up to 8 characters. I only have 6 at the moment. So
there's noticing there's like a little Shiba in the official artwork, and then in one of the images, it appears the dog is standing with your party with their weapons drawn. I'm like, now we're talking, baby.
Oh,
Like,
that's exciting. That's exciting.
So, spoilers. Sorry, Jesse. You might be getting a dog.
That's
soon.
fine. That's wonderful. Like this so far, this game just it just keeps on giving. Like like this last dungeon I was in, it was it's weird. It's like a thing I haven't really experienced before. Like it's just one big like boss fight, but you're on this mine car and you can check the map at any time. And so there's controls, and if you want to switch which way you're going to go, then you have to attack that part of the control to make it so, I'm going to go east now. And so you have to plan your attacks, because if you don't, and you end up keep going straight and you don't make the right turn, you'll just fly off into a pit and have to start over. And so like you have to plan your attacks around, okay, I have to make sure this guy switches it to go west or we're going to die. Or if we go west, there's going to be a healing buff right there and it'll heal us. And then we can keep fighting this thing until we escape out. And so like I thought so far the boss fights have been pretty different and interesting, and which is cool.
Yeah,
it's a really neat RPG that just like if you like RPGs, it's like it's like putting an arm around you saying, I'm right there with you, buddy. I like RPGs too. And you're like, yeah,
that's the thing. Looking at it, it's like, I used to obviously, like RPGs. I don't know. I feel like some RPGs have gotten a little complicated. I mean, games just kind of evolve and get iterated upon and things like that. And there's a lot of things that keep me from liking some of the modern RPGs. But like, if this is just like a really well done, like classic RPG in the style of like a, 16-bit or a PlayStation 1 era RPG without a whole lot of modern, I don't know. I feel like there's just too much like crafting and bull crap and fluff. Like I feel like this could be super duper up my alley. I'm really happy to learn about this.
There is a little bit of the like crafting stuff. Like you find crystals and stuff and you can put them in weapons, but like it hasn't been like a focus or anything for me. When I see a crystal, I pick it up. Whenever I'm near an anvil, there's like a thing where you could just combine all of them together and then you can just slot them if you can. And so it's not like too much busy work.
That's the game. It's eventually it just becomes like, forgetting what I've got in my inventory and what combines to make what. And then by the time I remember to like craft something awesome, it's like way past the time of needing it or something,
Yeah.
The crafting, I think, really is wearing me out in a lot of games.
But
not that crafty.
Yeah. But yeah, this one definitely doesn't focus on the crafting and stuff. It's more of figuring out the best way to like go about fighting stuff. Okay, so in the battle, you're building up this little bar on the top, and once you get into this one section, all your attacks do more damage and you take less damage. But every time you do an attack or an ability, it keeps moving and you can overheat. But it also lets you know if you do a specific attack now, it'll move back down a little bit. So like you're also trying to keep your party in the sweet spot where you can do more damage and also not take as much damage. So there's also like a little bit of like, now it's telling me I have to do a healing ability to keep my overdrive going. So I guess I got to do this, or you could just ignore it and just keep moving down. So it's kind of like a little mini game in the battle to keep yourself in the optimal. But sometimes you're gonna go over and you can't help it, and there's stuff so you can get back into it.
Sounds cool, man. Sounds like like you said, there's something kind of fun and unique in each of the like battle situations. And
I'm pretty sure it's on Switch also.
Yeah,
is.
I hope it is.
This game is actually on my wish list because Nintendo Life did a review and said like it's one of the best RPGs of the last couple years. And I was reading about it. Apparently the guy who made it like is a huge RPG fan, and he spent like 7 years making this game.
Wow.
So he put a lot of love into it.
Yeah, it's you can tell it's just dripping. It's great.
Yeah, the guy just drove around and opened his doors and played RPGs with random kids. That's what you're saying?
Sounds good. That's what I like to do.
There's an RPG van.
Yep.
Just making sure I heard that right.
I think fan.
You said.
I think David.
Sorry, you said what?
RPG fan. FAN.
Okay, just checking.
It sounds like you have a sore throat, David.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm fighting allergies like hardcore.
See.
Yeah, fighting them. I hear you.
Oh boy.
Game 3.
All right, guys. So this game's soundtrack and graphical style are heavily influenced by the Game Boy, which was called, quote, sly and deliberately deceptive, quote, to hide the brutal difficulty. All right, while you guys are finishing up writing your answers, I'd like to thank our request. This is our fan request, and I'd like to thank our requester this week, Model Madness, who placed this request in our Discord. You can get the link to our Discord from GameThatTune.com. Let's see your answers. All right, so Jesse wrote Dwarf Fortress, which is incorrect. David and John both wrote Tower of Heaven, which is correct. This is Tower of Heaven, a game released in 2009 for Windows and then ported to Flash in 2010, which is impressive. I thought Flash was kind of dead by then. It's an interesting game where it's Game Boy style graphics and you're trying to make your way to the top of a tower. And throughout the game, a strange, angry deity keeps giving you new laws you have to follow as you go. So one of the first laws you run into is you can no longer touch yellow blocks. At one point, you can't touch the side of blocks. At another point, you can't go left, which is probably the most bullshit one. So in that game, the second you hit left, you just die, and then you start the level over. There's no lives. Instead, each level has a timer to try to encourage you to get. It's like, so you have to beat that level in a time, or otherwise just start over. And it's a pretty quick time. You got to book it. And it's a pretty interesting game. The soundtrack is pretty dope. The soundtrack is by Flashy Goodness, and it's just awesome. I am digging the soundtrack a lot.
Yes, as somebody who likes Game Boy soundtracks, the soundtrack sounds great.
Yeah. And this game it gets fucking hard as you go. I feel like there's a lot I'm forgetting. There was left, can't touch the size of blocks, and at a certain point you can't touch anything living. So throughout the game, there's grass on the ground and butterflies floating around. At one point, you can't touch those anymore, and that also makes it incredibly difficult. There's levels where you're, having to dodge a bunch of shit as you try to get to the end. Not just your standard spikes and all that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say I've not played this, but I know of it because there's actually in Rivals of Ether, there's a Tower of Heaven stage, and it does the same thing where rules will come up and as you're fighting, suddenly you can't use certain platforms or you'll take damage.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's like a WarioWare stage.
Yeah, similar to WarioWare. Yeah. And then there's something else. So spoiler alert for 14-year-old game now. At the end of the game, it's revealed that the whole tower was just an artificial design and needs to be destroyed. It's a whole little meta thing where it's like, yeah, there's a reason for you to climb this, and we're gonna destroy now, and the game's over. You're done. Like it's kind of a little, I don't know, one of those endings that at the time a lot of reviewers were writing like, this is turning platform games on its head. Like, oh my god, you know,
I bet it did.
It was like, you know, looking back, I was like, I mean, sure, you know, it's a fun platformer, it's pretty neat and all that, but like, I don't think this is quite the piece of art people were writing about it as at the time. You know, it's good.
This game doesn't reinvent the wheel, John. It breaks the wheel.
It kind of reminds me of Braid, like where everybody was like, "Oh my god, this game's ending and the story, it's so incredible." But like 2 years later, nobody gave a shit about Braid.
I think people still gave a shit about Braid. It got a lot of praise. You know, I think people kind of, I don't know, came up with more clever fucking endings for games than that. But people still, they still give Braid its props. I'm not saying it is warranted, but you know, at the time, yeah. I mean, you know, you don't have to be the best at doing something. Sometimes you just got to be the first. Like first game to, I don't know, institute a bunch of arbitrary rules against you, and then I don't know, break the game and call it an ending.
I do like that you can't go left thing. Jumping doesn't count. You can jump and go left. You just can't. It's like specifically you can't walk left.
Oh, okay. See, I was going to ask. I'm like, I'm sorry. That really sounds like, unless it's a situation where the screen, you can jump from the right and reappear on the left side of the screen. That sounds like it really fucks everything up.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. You can go left.
Okay, good.
And yeah, it's a fun, you know, it's basically it's a get to the exit kind of game. Like you have a bunch of platforms, there's an exit, you gotta get there, right? And each stage is pretty short. The time limit for most of them is like 60 seconds or well under. You know, a lot of them are like 30 or 20 seconds. And like I said, it gets hard. There's some very, very tricky jumps. I like this one snippet of review here. Fraser McMillan of Gamasutra called the game, quote, almost more liberating than open world AAA games.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
There's something about a Flash game that has rules that limit you being more freeing than an open world game.
I think there's a thing where in the game, you know, quitting the game is also part of the game or something like that. Like I said, it gets a little meta, and I think that's probably where he came up with that. But it's also like, dude, come on, man, that's a little much.
Wait, Johnny, I'm sorry. You telling me a games journalist from 2009 or so might have been trying to be too cute and clever in their review of something? No,
Yeah.
no,
That never happens.
so.
Yeah, I think you can call this a real gem of a game. Very, very good soundtrack. The soundtrack is very catchy, and I think Metal came up with a good pick here for this episode.
Yeah, no, it's really it was a kind of easy request to guess, since it was literally the only request, because after the last episode, nobody asked anybody for any requests. Muddle just jumped in there yesterday and said this. I was like, oh, hey, cool.
Smart move, Muddle.
Yeah, you know. Winning strategy.
Sometimes
notice that requests were not asked for and offer one.
Sometimes the best way to win is you don't have to outrun everybody else. You just got to outrun the bear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes you just put the number on and cross the finish line at the Boston Marathon. By the time anybody knows what happened, you pretty much got away with it.
That's the true secret. Sometimes you win by doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
The bare minimum.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
So yeah, that's all I have to say on that. David mentioned Rivals of Ether. There's also a stage that shows up in Super Smash Land.
All right, Johnny, be honest. Is this segment longer than the game you've talked about? Like
possibly the game's like maybe. I saw a complete playthrough video and it was 20 minutes.
20, okay. Well, you know, we're not going to do 20 on it.
And that was a good amount of deaths. You know, like if you do this with no deaths, I think you're talking like 8 to 9 minutes or so.
Right, yeah. If you just know the game and how to follow all the rules and not fuck up anything, maybe you can speed run this thing and faster than we've talked about.
And it does have a speed run mode where it times you and everything.
Well, yeah, Johnny,
sounds like something for you to to get good at, Johnny.
Stream it right now. I'll just take my face off the screen. You see if you can beat it within, I don't know,
the rest of the
5-10
show.
minutes.
All right, I'll find a computer with Flash on it still.
Yes, please do. I know you've got one in there, Johnny. I know it.
That's the hard part.
I mean, you've got a flash drive, right?
That's not.
Yeah,
the
that has
same.
it in there. No, just plug it in.
That's not how it works.
I think it is. It's a flash drive, John.
Yeah. Why would they name it that?
Yeah. What other implications could that word have besides this drive has flash on it?
It's like the relationship between Java and JavaScript is nothing but marketing.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't care.
Is that coffee?
Yeah. That working on your screenplay while you drinking a cup of coffee?
Game 4.
Yeah, good day.
All right, so the developers of this game stated on their official website that their development kits arrived 3 months prior to the release date for this game, where it served as a launch title in the U.S. for its console. All right, who's got some answers? All right, we got John locked in, Jesse locked in. All right, so let's see. John said some Sega Saturn game, and David's on the same track with something on Sega Saturn. These are both incorrect. Jesse says Cosmic Carnage, which is correct. This is Cosmic Carnage, a launch title for the Sega 32X.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Wait, are we calling that a console now?
Yeah.
Feel strong about that, aren't you?
The 32X could be a standalone thing, right?
No.
No, it was the Sega CD that could be standalone.
No. They're both
Okay, what the
add-ons.
fuck was
They're
Sega
both
doing?
add-ons to the Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Cosmic Carnage. It's a fighting game, and it's got some kind of neat features going on here. It's got that sort of zooming in effect that Samurai Showdown has, where as you get closer to each other, you zoom in and get more details on the characters. Probably to take advantage of the 32X's built-in like sprite scaling capabilities.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Carnage is a cool-looking character, so you want to zoom in and see all the
It's not that
tentacles,
one.
the symbiote kind of ness of it.
Yeah, different
It's not
Carnage.
that one.
Different Carnage.
Unfortunately.
Different Carnage.
There's not a single character actually named Carnage in this game.
Oh, okay. So it's Carnage is what's taking place. It's not the character.
Although, if you Google Cosmic Carnage, one of the pictures that comes up is Carnage on Silver Surfer's surfboard,
See,
which
that's
is pretty fucking amazing.
okay. So that's not what this is, unfortunately.
No, not at all.
I was about to say, I was like, wasn't there a Cosmic Carnage? Kind of like Cosmic Spider-Man?
Can't you, God, can you imagine Carnage, Silver Surfer, fucking up Galactus, and then Galactus getting covered in silver symbiote and becoming the ultimate 90s planet-eating badass? Oh,
God, could you imagine Carnage and Silver Surfer on the 32X?
I mean,
I'd like that,
fucking.
yes.
I would have played the shit out of that had I known what a 32X was.
See,
There's the big problem, of course, is the elephant in the room is the 32X. Like all these fake ass Marvel games we're talking about sound great, except they're on the 32X. They could be on the 32X for all I know.
yeah, I think the real elephant in the room is the fact that like you're more likely to have an actual elephant in your room than you were to have a 32X in your room.
I'm more likely to be covered in space symbiote than I am to own a 32X.
But yeah, there's a neat feature of this game is half the characters let you customize their armor before you fight. You have a light or heavy armor that you can apply to either the leg, body, or arm, and that actually affects what special moves you have available and like how the character moves and things like that. It's pretty weird.
Put some ankle weights on and kick the shit out of somebody.
Basically, yeah. And then,
That's-
but then the armor can get like knocked off, and when that happens, your defense like goes to shit, and you can get beaten up real quickly.
True to life.
Whereas the other four characters are just more like balanced.
Oh, so wait, there's characters that just get no upgrades, and then there's characters that have applicable upgrades that can be destroyed.
Yes.
Do they become then the base level like the other characters, or are they worse than
they
the
become
other
worse than the other characters if they
right,
lose
of
the
course,
armor.
because
Yeah.
a balance thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like that.
And
I feel like I would just stick with the character that can't get fucked up.
yeah, and there's no like boss characters, which is kind of lame. You just because the story of the game is a group of prisoners on a like ship to go take them off to go serve on a mining colony, overtake the ship, and they realize they've kind of fucked up the ship in the process, so they ram into another spaceship to try and use their distress signal, but it turns out that they've basically are now in the both ships are falling apart, and 4 people from one ship, the people with armor options, and 4 people from the other ship, the people without armor options, are fighting each other to get the last escape pod and get out of there. So,
Bit of cosmic carnage, as it were.
yeah. So an interesting thing about this game is your ending is based on how quickly you beat it. So if you take too long to defeat all the other fighters, you don't have enough time to get into your escape pod and you die anyways.
Oh,
That sucks. That really sucks.
But if you beat the game in under like 20 minutes or so, then you
I was
make
gonna
it
say,
to the
wait,
escape pod in
is-
time.
Is there a countdown timer or something persistent telling you to fucking hurry up, or is this just something you learn by losing the game at the end?
You just learn by losing.
Oh,
You got to do it all over again.
blows.
And then weirdly,
I
like,
would not.
in the U.S. version, everything's an alien, but in the Japanese version, they replace a lot of the aliens with humans, like a complete redesign. Like in the U.S. version, there's a character named Psylocke, and they're an alien like ant. And in
They live on
the
a farm.
and then in the Japanese version, they're just a brown-haired dude named Jake, like just a complete replacement.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a big change.
I do like. I'm looking at the characters now. There's one named Damon, who is basically a xenomorph, but with like hot rod paint.
Mhm. And in the Japanese version, he's just some blonde kid named Matt, who's janitor at MIT.
And then I do like this character Naja, who is like a sexy snake woman, but her bottom half is like a robot snake tail. I'm kind of into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the American or in the Japanese version, she's just a convenience store clerk named Linda. It's crazy.
with like a vest.
Yeah.
That's her armor.
Got a pane of glass in front of her. Her attacks just involve sliding you change.
And yeah, I love this quote from a former Sega of America executive producer. Said the company, was rushed to get the game, out on time for the 32X launch, and said, quote, "When Cosmic Carnage showed up, we didn't even want to ship it." It took a lot of convincing, to ship that title. Because the game plays like dog shit. It is very slow. And on top of it already kind of being a slow fighter, it slows down more as things happen. Like you'll be in the middle of a special move and everything just slows down.
Oh, cool.
It does have
Love
fatalities.
Okay, well now I'm back on.
Like you can basically if you use one of your character's special moves to finish off somebody, you'll dismember them in some way, like their head falls off or you cut them in half, things like that.
Cool.
No, I mean not falls off, pops off. I feel like there's a big
I was
difference
gonna
between
say,
falling and popping.
I love the idea of somehow their head falls off.
Just casually. Oops.
Not again.
Linda, you're really beating the shit out of that guy. Stop, his head's falling off. Oh yeah, my bad.
It was like that when I got here.
Yeah, jeez. He tried to rob the store. I had to get him. I had to kill
Oh,
his
don't you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, Linda's from Minnesota. Beats his ass with a hot dish.
Anyway, this sounds like it should be something more cool than it is. Again, I think a lot of the problems with this stem from it being on the 32X. But then also, I mean, I don't know, would it run better if, we're fucking programmed for another system in less than 3 months? Maybe.
God,
I don't know.
They got the 32X dev kits 3 months before launch. Jesus.
Really funny, man. That's fucked up. That's why I thought it was a Sega Saturn thing. I'm like, oh, they fucking surprise launched it on them. Surprise. Hey, this system's coming out this weekend. I hope you have a game ready for it. Like, oh shit. But
That was my thought process too.
yes, exactly. Sega's famous 90s idiocy with console launches and things but yeah, man. How many games are there for the 32X, Johnny? Can you count them on one hand?
No, I think you need 3 or 4 hands.
Okay, just checking. I could never remember how much of a failure the Sega 32X was.
Let's see. I am double checking. There were a total of 40 titles produced worldwide.
Ooh,
No.
man.
So
Eight
it's less
human hands.
Oh my god, though. Oh my god, though. Hold on.
less of a failure than the Virtual Boy.
Only 10 were
Well.
released in North America, so you can count all the North American releases on 2 hands.
See, I thought I was on the right track with that. Yeah, I'll bring in a toe if I'm mistaken, but yeah, I think it's like 10. Wow.
Oh god.
What a...
And then 6 of those games require the Sega CD as well.
Oh, wow.
I like how they released 10 games in North America, and one of them was the one that had 3 months of development time.
Yeah, guys, we have to put this out. Yeah, the North American market is clamoring for this. Both of them. They really want the game.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I misheard this. It was 10 were only released in North America. Hold on. Okay, hold on. 34 were actually released in North America, so it's not as bad as we thought. Okay.
I was going to say, I didn't remember it quite being the failure on the level of the Virtual Boy, but it's second. Seems like the second largest fiasco of the 90s.
Yeah, no, it's up there.
Yeah, I feel like Sega's up there on all counts of console fiascos in the 90s.
Right,
except the Virtual Boy.
Because they put this, they put the 32X out in November 94, and then when did the Saturn come out? I feel like it was less than a year or only a year or something like that.
Yeah,
It was,
I want to say it was June of 95. They announced it at fucking E3 and it was there.
yeah, no, okay, so release date for the Sega Saturn, November 22nd, 94 in Japan, and this is released in North America November 21st, 94. This was released the day before the Saturn got released in Japan. Oh my god!
You're really bad at this.
Wow.
Why did they bother?
I knew it was close, but holy shit.
I mean, at that point, why not, since you only gave some of these companies 3 months to make the game, why not be like, listen, guys, I'm sorry. We're pushing it back 5 months. Here's a Saturn dev kit. Fix your shit and make something good. Better crank out a fucking 32X game. That's wild, man. We can't just dump these in landfill somewhere. We have to try and sell them. I don't know. Can't strip them for parts and use that for, future fucking Sega things. I told people to expect it. They'll be embarrassed. I'll be embarrassed if we don't release this 32X.
And then I love so Cosmic Carnage came out in Japan in January 95 after the Saturn was already out in Japan.
God damn, man.
Fuck. What a mess.
90s, baby. Sega fucking up. It's man, that's fucking silly.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because
I do know.
The Super Nintendo launched in 91, and there were still NES games coming out in 93, 94.
Yeah,
but the Sega 32X wasn't the NES.
So you had
the NES was the most successful game console of all time.
Plus, the big difference here is the 32X and Sega Saturn came out one day apart, and they're both quote 32-bit systems.
Yeah,
that's going to create just you didn't have this. It's not like they released a add-on for the NES and then a day later the Super Nintendo. It's not like they said, oh, here's the thing, you plug in your NES to make a 16-bit. Oh, and the Super Nintendo's coming out tomorrow.
This would have been like if Nintendo released a tablet controller for the actual Wii and then a day later released the Wii U. It would have confused people and become a big fiasco. Except again, there's not really a comparison. I don't know. I mean, the Wii has sold more units than the Sega Genesis, but nobody's going to buy a pricey add-on to their old system when in a day you have a new system coming out. It's downright silly. God. And then also, there's the PlayStation in the room. People could all just move on from the Genesis completely and not fuck with any of this crazy shit and buy a Sony PlayStation and have one of the greatest systems of all time. So,
can we replace the phrase "the elephant in the room" with the PlayStation in the room?
I mean, it's since 1995 or so. There's always been a PlayStation in the room, has there not? There simply is in every household in America and in many in Japan. I'd say. There's PlayStation in the room. It's much more common than an elephant in the room.
So I'm sorry. I'm looking at Wikipedia about some of these release dates.
Elephants.
On the Wikipedia article for the 32X, they have a picture of the Japanese Sega Saturn with the caption, Japanese Sega Saturn released in November 1994. The 32X was incompatible with Saturn software.
You don't
Anyways,
say.
the soundtrack for this game is pretty good. I do enjoy
Great
the soundtrack.
soundtrack.
That was nice.
Dug
Soundtrack's
those
pretty nice.
tunes, baby.
I think it's
man.
taking advantage of the 32X did add some extra sound capabilities, and I think they're getting to use that a little bit. It's nice. It sounds good. That first track, that like heavy metal fucking kickoff, is awesome.
Yeah.
The rest of the game sucks.
Shame about everything else.
don't play the game.
Jesus. Johnny, see, I love it when we pick these fucking real obscure fucking systems because it just gives us a chance to reminisce on how fucking dumb some of these things were. Like, man, oh man, I just love thinking about how bad Sega was at business. Like, it's fascinating. Makes me feel more accomplished, not even being a business person. Like, I'm not an entrepreneur, but I've never fucked anything up like Sega fucked this up. Like, it's great.
I'm not an entrepreneur, but I've never launched a 32X the day before a Sega Saturn.
I know not to do that.
I'm no fancy businessman, but boy, I know not to do that.
God, when you take the time zone difference into account, it may have really been the same day.
Oh God, yeah, no, that's probably true. Wow. Yeah, I stayed up till fucking 4 a.m. watching a wrestling show that took place tomorrow in Japan. Time zones are weird. Sega fuck this up, man.
That's some good shit, though.
It was fantastic shit. Johnny, what a pick. Yeah.
And you played this?
Yeah, you definitely own and play this, right?
Game 5.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. So, unlike this game's source material, the majority of this game takes place in the distant future, only returning to contemporary time for the final 2 levels of the game. All right, who's feeling great?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Good. Show me those answers if you want to win. Johnny says Chrono Trigger, sadly incorrect. Jesse says Flintstones 64. God, I wish that I would love Jetsons Meet the Flintstones on the N64. Sadly incorrect. David says Terminator 2 Arcade. He is exactly on the right track. This is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Known, of course, in the home console ports as Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the arcade game. Yes. So,
I just want to specify that it was the Terminator 2 arcade game.
I mean, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because it would be confused with other games if you didn't mention that it was the arcade game. And literally on the box for like the SNES and Genesis, it says T2, the arcade game. So, yeah, you're right on. But this is actually the arcade game itself, the stand-up cabinet with the guns. Created by Midway, and it's one of the raddest motherfucking arcade games of all time. I mean, like, I think we all played this at some point in the arcade, right? You know, as a kid, 6, 7 years old in 1991 or so, you see a cabinet with Arnold on the side, with the big endoskeleton head and 2 guns on it. You got to at least go up and pretend that you're playing it without putting a quarter in it. And then you'd actually put a quarter in it and play it. And it's, you know, it's a fucking shooting game in which you shoot a bunch of Terminators in the future. It's rad. Tell me I'm not the only guy that fucking loved T2, the arcade game. In addition to T2, the movie. Yeah, it's great.
My issue was I went to the arcade and I saw this, and then I looked over and I saw Revolution X, the Aerosmith arcade game.
You had to make a tough decision, Johnny.
I played that every time.
You fool.
There was, and this is going way back. I'm sure all of our fans across the country will love hearing about this. At the Bono's Barbecue in St. Augustine, Florida, there was a back room right before the bathrooms that had like 5 arcade machines that they rotated. This was definitely one of them because I have very distinct memories of playing this and Street Fighter 2 and like Ikari Warriors while going out to dinner with my parents. Like, no, I played the hell out of this game.
Yeah, no, this was definitely at the Putt Putt Golf here in Tallahassee, Florida, when I was a young boy before we first moved to St. Augustine, and yeah, because I was living in Florida, or I was living here until 1994. So yeah, there was Terminator 2, the arcade game there, and I gotta imagine this is just one of those games that like everybody had to play at some point. It's it's not very good. It's a midway game, but it's two good-looking guns on a big black arcade cabinet. Like, yeah, it's drawing you in with the power of Arnold and these two fucking Uzis. Like, it's not like Lethal Enforcers or fucking Area 51 where there's a blue one and a red one and they're clearly toys. No, this has black Uzis on it. This is fucking metal as fuck. It's so good. Like, you have to go stand there and play this a little bit.
And I seem to remember like there was the trigger in the gun, but like in the barrel that you held, I remember there was like a button that you could push for like special attacks or something.
Yeah, if you picked up the grenade launcher, you would squeeze the front button and use that as like your secondary attack for sure. But yeah, man, it's just one of life's simple pleasures. Putting your hands around a fake gun and shooting things on screen with it.
Well, hold on. Does this game allow you to put your hands around a fake gun and shoot things to crying?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Or I don't want to miss a thing.
God, no, it doesn't. Yeah, time hasn't been very kind to anything.
Oh.
I was gonna say, Aerosmith or Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I think it's still kind of undeniable that Arnold Schwarzenegger always has been and always will be cooler than Aerosmith. And especially,
isn't Aerosmith been in the news recently?
Hot take.
I don't appreciate that hot take. You drowned out Jesse's question.
Aren't Aerosmith in the news recently?
I don't know. I haven't fucking heard anybody mention Aerosmith in the last 15 years or so until just tonight.
Hold on, let me check this newspaper here. Oh, it says here. Hold on. Aerosmith, far cooler than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What?
What a headline.
I didn't see that coming.
I thought I already was in trouble for something.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I love the idea that that's the front page of the paper, like
the Baltimore Sun.
Like,
slow news day.
Kevin McCarthy not elected Speaker of the House. Aerosmith way cooler than Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Above the fold, baby.
But yeah, I was gonna say, especially not even Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the Terminator itself is cooler than Aerosmith and always has been and always will be. Like, Terminator 2 is one of the fucking greatest movies of all time. It's easily like maybe the best action movie of all time. It's one of, if not my favorite movies of all time. And it's not just personal bias. Aerosmith's not that cool. Like, Terminator is cool. It's got metal skeletons and guns and shit. Aerosmith has bandanas and fucking, I'll give him hot videos in the 90s with, what's their names? Steven Tyler's own daughter. And
wasn't Alicia Silverstone?
Alicia Silverstone, yes. Hot girls in videos for fucking forgettable songs. Good for Aerosmith. Terminator 2, fucking one of the greatest cultural touchstones of the 20th century, made by the most successful filmmaker of all time. So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't recall hearing Arnold Schwarzenegger say, "Mrs. Krabappel, I really need my drumsticks." That's my best Arnie impression. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Wait a minute. You were doing Arnold in the Simpsons episode? You weren't doing Steven Tyler?
Well, because one, Steven Tyler's not the one asking for the drumsticks. It's the drummer, or whatever his name is, asking for the drumsticks. Yeah.
Jeez,
but
Louise.
yeah, no, Arnie never said, "Mrs. Krabappel, I really need my drumsticks."
Okay, well, the drummer from Aerosmith is somewhat cool. However, the Aerosmith as a whole, I really hate you, Johnny. I was trying to get through this like somewhat quick, and you've made this now fucking Terminator versus Aerosmith, and I don't appreciate it.
That's my favorite arcade cabinet of all time.
See, that one was the much less played version of that fucking Terminator Aerosmith crossover machine.
I mean, I'll be honest, I do love some like rock power ballads, but at the same time, Aerosmith doesn't have stop motion robot skeletons. Like, I kind of got to give the point there.
Yeah. Is anybody in Aerosmith made of polyluminetic liquid metal that can take the form of anything it touches?
Oh, I think at this point, Steven Tyler is yes. But at the time, no. But now, yes.
Steven T1000. No. Terminator's great. The fucking, movie's great. Game, that's what I was trying to get to before fucking the Aerosmith hour. It's a Midway game, and so they use the same photo capture stuff as they did for Mortal Kombat. And they actually captured fucking some of the actors from the movie, Eddie Furlong and fucking Linda Hamilton, and they appear in the game. They're like running around and like setting bombs and stuff and destroying shit. It's actually pretty cool. The game itself, people say, it's faithful to the movie. I'm like, the fuck it is. Like, it takes place in the future for most of it. Like, it's faithful to the opening of the movie, which in Terminator 2, the movie lasts 3 good minutes. Like, and then you're back in LA, baby. This one, it's like half the game you're blasting Terminators in the future, which I mean really makes it a good companion piece to the movie. Like, it's an expansion of that opening of the movie where, in this you're playing in the future and blasting a bunch of fucking Terminators. It's it's kind of cool like that.
It fills in the missing details. Yeah, the parts that the movie kind of glossed over, the game expands on that a little bit.
See, but like the movie's just so effective. All you need to see is a robot skeleton foot crush a human skull, and then a couple of shots of things happening in the future, and you're good. You don't need to actually play an arcade game worth of it. Like, it's cool, don't get me wrong. But, it also speaks to the issue of adapting Terminator 2, just like whole cloth into a shooting arcade game. If it all takes place in, the 90s of Terminator 2, it'd be weird to be shooting the entire time. Like, shooting up a mall, shooting up the LA River, shooting up this and that. Like, it makes sense that they had to adapt it and be about the future. And then you get 2 levels set in the 90s. You get Cyberdyne and you get the steel mill and you get to kill the T-1000. That's all you do in the 90s. We can't have all this fucking action. We can't, photograph these 90s people and have them get shot. No. We're not shooting up an insane asylum in an arcade game. That would just be too rad. So, can't kill Dr. Silberman. We didn't fucking do motion capture on that guy.
Shooting up an insane asylum, that's crazy.
Yeah. Johnny, you didn't make it an Aerosmith thing. Fool.
Shooting up an insane asylum, that's crazy for you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Terminator 2, the arcade game. It's great. Yeah. Movie's great. We should watch it sometime, guys. We should do a movie night. Just do an actual good movie like Terminator 2. But yeah, I don't know. Just had T2 on the brain. I felt like making a T2 free play jingle, wearing my T2 shirt and playing T2 music. It's my mood going into the nearly the year of the distant future of Terminator 2. It's not, thank God the future scenes in this game don't take place in 2023. They're in the far off year of 2029. Thank you very much.
Oh,
so yeah, we're nowhere near Judgment Day. We can still avert it, guys. We just got to crush the microchip and destroy the hand and blow Robert Patrick into a pile of molten metal.
John, I do all of those every day.
Thank goodness, Johnny. Yeah, that's why it's important for you to be living where you are. The constant T-1000 threats and the constant destruction of old Terminators. Man, Thank God for you, John.
Dude, that Inner Harbor full of old Terminators.
Yeah, nothing but old Terminators. Yeah.
Can't
If
swim
you
in
go
it.
down in the water a little bit, bunch of human skulls being crushed under Terminator feet. But dead Terminator feet, thanks to John Regan. So, God, John Connor, eat your heart out. We've got John Regan. We're going to be just fine. So, yeah. Anyway, great game. Do we want to, end on that note, or we got something else in the tank? What are we thinking, guys?
I got a little more in my tank.
Good.
David, Jesse, what are you guys thinking? How's your tanks?
Come.
All right. Jesse,
it.
take his full cum. David, how's your
Are
tank?
we talking like howitzer tanks or like
Just shoot off screen to reload, and let's do a bonus game already. All right, guys. So in this game, the player can unlock doctrines, which are permanent upgrades that affect you and the characters around you, providing them with new traits. Anytime you unlock a doctrine, you have to choose between two, and they're mutually exclusive, so one gets locked out forever, and you got to plan them carefully. And they're divided into 5 subcategories: sustenance, afterlife, work and worship, law and order, and possessions. All right, how you guys feeling?
Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
A little
Good.
sheepish.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. I could see that. Johnny says Cadence of Hyrule, sadly incorrect. Jesse and David both have the correct answer. This is Cult of the Lamb. Indeed.
Not a bad guess.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, fuck you.
You I don't know, bleat my expectations of you for guessing this game.
Hey, fuck you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know, Jesse. I thought that was kind of a weak joke. I sort of expected better from you.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Indeed. Yeah, so the wool has been pulled from our eyes. This is Cult of the Lamb. Interesting game that came out in 2022. I wanted to bring it on as a bonus game, as an opportunity to mention that we just put out the best of 2022 mixtape. It's in the main feed, and it's fantastic. And this soundtrack is pretty fun and fantastic. And I featured a few songs from it in that mixtape. And people that, eagle-eared listeners that listen to that mixtape before, this live recording tonight or before listening to this podcast might recognize a couple of those tunes. Really cool soundtrack for a cool little game. Jesse, have you played this yet?
Not yet. I want to. It's one of those games that I feel like will come to Game Pass eventually.
Oh, that's the thing. I wasn't sure if it was on Game Pass yet. It looked like a Game Pass game.
Yeah, it does. It looks like that's why I'm kind of hesitant to buy it, because it feels like a very Game Passy type game. But we'll see.
Yeah, all up in that Game Passy. It's sometimes though, Jesse, even the most strident of Game Pass followers, they got to pay a little money for a game on the Switch or on Steam if they really want to play it. Just putting that out there. But yeah,
I definitely do. I bought Splatoon 3 recently. I can't play that on Game Pass. So
that's true. That one. I guess that's the thing. You got to kind of decide to buy games that definitely won't be on Game Pass.
Yeah,
that makes sense. because this struck me as a game that was probably already on Game Pass. I thought maybe Jesse had already played it. I'm guessing that Johnny and David have not played it. In the case of Johnny, have not heard of
it. Yes to both.
Cool. David, any inkling towards playing Cult of the Lamb? Have you seen the main character and how cute it is?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was looking this game up and I saw the main character and they look absolutely adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was seeing like, oh, it's a like roguelike game where you have to like get sheep to join a cult for some demons. Like that adorable main character is not going to stay adorable, are they?
I think they do. They do stay pretty adorable. That's kind of the crux of the thing. It's a really cute little lamb running a cult for some kind of demon. I mean, obviously doing some uncute things at some point, but no, it's pretty fucking cute little lamb.
You make your followers do the uncute stuff. That way you stay cute.
Sure. See, and that's the thing. I haven't played it yet, and I didn't. I was hesitant to bring it on, but someone suggested it after listening to the mixtape, and was saying, hey, you should use some of these games that you chose for the 2022 mix and either put them on GTT radio or put them on the show. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do one of them at least.
Neither.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to murder you instead. That's in line with this game. How about instead of you suggesting things to me, I sacrifice you to our God.
Yeah. Oh, Gabriel, thou art in tuna.
Please accept this offering of one of our greatest patrons. But yeah, it seems really cool. Like, I don't know about the roguelike, aspect of the game, but I just like the whole, I don't know, managing your little cultists and making them do cute things and having to choose like, the traits and things that you're going to adopt. Like, one of the early ones in like the Law and Order trait is you have to choose between either just being able to murder somebody out of nowhere or kill them by performing like an ascension ritual in front of everybody. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on. What's the difference? The difference is that if you perform the ascension ritual, they die and it gives all your followers loyalty. Like they're like, hey, wow, he just ascended. And this demon god is real. Hell yeah. Cults rule. Whereas if you just want to get rid of somebody and murder them, it's like you just got to murder him when nobody's looking, and then the problem's solved, and that's that. He's gone. I'm like, that's kind of fun. Like, it's the same outcome, but one's easy, but one's beneficial. I like that. And all the little doctrines have little trade-offs like that. That it feels like it would make it a fun game to kind of play. I don't know, like multiple times, different doctrines each time, or I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know if there's like a right and a wrong one. Like if one of them's like critically important, like you got to be able to resurrect your followers versus fucking, have a devoted funeral for them or whatever. I don't know if you must do certain things in order to win the game, or if it's like, yeah, try it again, but this time instead of murdering people, have the ritual. Like, I don't know. It piques my interest. It seems like kind of game that I'd like to give a shot to at some point. But see, I worry though. I need to look into it and see just how violent and like weird it gets, because like the cute little lamb is just so cute, and I know it will draw my son's eye, even if he's like distracted by something else and I'm playing games in the other room. If he comes in and sees a cute little lamb dancing around, like that's it's just gonna draw his attention. And if then you have to like stab somebody in the back or like cut their head off or something, it's just gonna get weird. And it's
how else is he gonna learn to be a cult leader?
Well, that's the thing. I kind of like him to learn not cult stuff. Like we can talk about cults later. And maybe I'm just being obtuse about this. I don't know. Maybe teaching a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old young age the good and bad about cults. Maybe that's a good idea. Like,
Dad, what's happening? Cults, son. Cults. Yeah. This is cults. I don't think I'm any part of this. Do you want to kill people? No. Well, then don't join a cult. Okay.
Maybe it's a good thing to teach him at a young age to just be more discerning about what cult he picks. Yeah. Like it's fine to choose a cult. You just gotta. There's a trade-off in all these cults.
Wait, is it? Is it fine?
look out for the Kool-Aid. Look out for any kind of like cloth triangles or like, you know.
Guys, I feel like it's a good time to announce that coming this summer is GTT Town in South America.
God, here it goes. Johnny Jones gonna take us down to South America. Drink the tuna juice. Yeah. It's
episode
it's good
title.
times. Everybody that joined GameThatTune.club is already in. So, if you join Patreon, subscribe at the $5 tier, you get a plane ticket to South America.
So we have an exciting announcement. We are changing it. It is no longer GameThatTune.club. It's now GameThatTune.cult.
Yes. Well, no, see, David, there's a taboo on calling it a cult. That's the thing. I think you got to kind of.
Maybe can we spell it with a K?
Yes, there it is.
We could call it the Cool Kids Cult.
Yeah, GTT.KKK. They'll flock to it, man. And then we take them to South America. We make them drink the tuna juice, and then we come back to America and we do a normal, cult devoted to video game music instead. So let's indoctrinate a bunch of Klansmen, kill them, and then come back to an America with slightly fewer Klansmen and enjoy video game music. That's Game That Tune Cult, baby.
Win-win.
I was kind of against this idea, but the more that you're talking about it, I'm kind of in favor of this.
Yeah, see, drinking the Kool-Aid.
Any Klansmen that are watching this right now, they're going to know what our plan is. So we're going to have to really, scrub this episode. Can't announce that you're just killing Klansmen live on YouTube.
I'm just so disappointed that there's no .cult that we can buy.
Did you check with a K?
Oh, no.
That's the crux of the whole thing, Johnny. It's got to be killer cult.
Also not
from outer
available.
space.
Man, I can't believe .cult is not a domain. That's unfortunate. But yeah, this game looks cool. I like how cute it is. I like how weird it is, and the soundtrack's just fantastic. I think I want to look into it. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it for like a Switch sale. Jesse, obviously, get back to us as soon as it drops on Game Pass. Let us know how it goes. But just a cool little weird game. I think it's already got a background on the radio, so I think somebody there plays it. Fucking probably Taylor or somebody. It's a cool little game with a great little soundtrack. And again, it's part of the Game That Tune Best of 22 mixtape that just hit your podcast feeds. You should go listen to the Best of 2022. Nearly 4 hours of fantastic video game tunes. It's just a fantastic little mix that we put together, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun tunes from a lot of fun games last year. I'm looking forward to, catching up on some of them at some point. I didn't do a lot of gaming in 2022, but just making that mixtape re-piqued my interest on several things that I overlooked. So it's good tunes all around. It's time, Johnny. It's time. There's no cult truer on Game That Tune than the Cult of Calculating Computer, all spelled with K's. So let's just go ahead and start that up.
Calculating computer activated. Computers. Beeps. Boops. Scoring complete. This game's winner is David Fleming.
That's right. We're back, and some things never change. David remains king of the show. What do you know? New year, not new David.
New year, same king.
Oh, yeah.
New year, who dis?
Mm-hmm. Fucking lose my number.
I should have used that for the folder name.
Oh, nuts. Anyway, come up with something more clever than that for our theme for our next episode, David. I'd love to see you do that.
Well, it's the beginning of January. Where I am, it's pretty cold, and I'm trying to think of something to combat that. So
soupy games.
I think we need to
Dayquil games.
I think we need to heat stuff up and have games with fire.
Man, Really wish I hadn't used Terminator 2, the arcade game, this week, baby. A lot of flaming skeletons to keep you nice and toasty in 2029.
Dude,
but
same with Cosmic Carnage. One of the characters, like, their head's on fire.
Does it matter what kind of fire?
Do we use all our fire games tonight, guys?
Jesse, no. If it's mystical fire, sure. If it's scientific fire, if it's fire that you get from drinking too much tuna juice, that's fine too.
Wait, so you're saying like burning butt piss is on the table? Like,
Ooh.
Proverbial fire, like, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea?
Yes, John, if you can find an indigestion heartburn game, you can use it.
Oh, hey now.
Hey.
Heartburn games.
I like a challenge, baby. Hot one's the game, you say.
I guarantee you the company that made Captain Overland made a Tums game.
Made an IBS game for Tums. Oh, man. Yeah. Cool. So, bowel movements. No, fire.
Crohn's disease.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little squirt in your pants. No, the theme is fire. Great theme, David. That'll keep us nice and warm in this chilly January. I appreciate that. That's good. And I appreciate everybody for listening. Man, what a show it's been. Thank you, everybody watching live with us. We're live on every Wednesday. We're at Twitch, we're at YouTube, we're at Facebook. Search for Game That Tune. I think maybe at some point, Johnny, we'll figure out some way to do an Owncast broadcast as well. I feel like we're leaning into this whole decentralized internet thing. We should probably do that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe just put us on the radio, fucking force people to stop listening to the radio, watch us.
Man, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Johnny would love a new programming project. He's not busy. he's definitely not sheepishly looking away from the camera as I mentioned this.
I'm not about to go on fucking 4 months of jury duty.
Yeah, you could bring your computer with you, right?
I don't think so, John. I don't think I could do that.
It'd be really funny if you're just running GTT radio from a grand jury courtroom. Guys, you got a fiber optic cable in here. But yeah, thank you everybody watching live with us. Thank you everybody listening in podcast form. Our podcasts come out Tuesday mornings. They're at GameThatTune.com. They're anywhere that you get your podcasts. We love you guys listening, leaving reviews, enjoying, sharing with your friends, all the stuff that you do with our fantastic podcast. Thank you to everybody checking out Patreon. Patreon.com/GameThatTune is, of course, the home for awesome exclusives. We've got Game That Tune gems. We've got Covered Up. We've got mixtapes. We've got movie nights. We've got all kinds of fun stuff. And you help us keep the lights on at the 24/7 video game music live stream at radio.gamethattune.com. That's gtt.rocks, the home for video game music on the internet. We just appreciate everybody giving us support on Patreon. Want to give a special shout out, of course, to our absurd fans on Patreon. Talking about Lance Revere, Damian Beckles, Bradford Stevens, Daniel Perky, Taylor Y, Sam L, Grimmery, Phoenix Tier 2121, and Unsaddled Zebra. A fantastic group of patrons at patreon.com/GameThatTune. I want to thank our requester again tonight. The request was taken by Johnny, and it came from
Muddle Madness.
Yes, Muddle Madness, a.k.a. Patreon Absurd Fan, Daniel Perky, a.k.a. Jesse's Game Pass, Sugar Daddy, a fantastic fan of Game That Tune, a fantastic requester. Make your requests where Muddle did in Discord. Look for that link in our show notes or on our website, or you can make them at GameThatTune.club. We really like to get some more activity going over there, trying to take over that Fediverse, baby. Trying to centralize the decentralized internet via GameThatTune.club. So the key to that is, of course, making requests for Game That Tune. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the show tonight. So David's got bonus tunes, and I can't wait to hear what he's got. I assume it'll be something hot.
What better than a song from someone who literally spits fire? This is a remix of Bowser World from Mario 3D World by Kumu.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dylon, but that's good too. We love you guys. Peace out, everybody. New Super Mario Bros. U is copyright 2012 Nintendo of America Incorporated. Chained Echoes is copyright 2022 Matthias, Linda, and Deck 13 Interactive GmbH. Tower of Heaven is copyright 2009 ASCII Soft. Cosmic Carnage is copyright 1994 Almanac Software. Terminator 2, the arcade game, is copyright 1991 Midway Games Incorporated. Cult of the Lamb is copyright 2022 Massive Monster and Devolver Digital.